exhibition that was put together to tell the stories and experiences and journeys of Sudanese families and individuals that had ended up in Brisbane and were now finding it their home. It was an exhibition that was developed where I worked one-on-one with 8 families who were in Brisbane, and to find out their experiences, to document what it was like to be living in Brisbane, to have had a shared experience of a refugee story, but also how that's individually impacted on them and then forming their new identity within Brisbane. One of the things that we wanted to recreate when I was designing the show was the idea that you're in somebody's lounge room or in somebody's kitchen. And that was really important to me, to be able to minimise the space between the Sudanese community and the Australian community. And I think there's not very many opportunities for the normal, citizen or the normal visitor to the museum to have that kind of access to people's lives. There was one image in the exhibition called Ali and Rahma. It was an image of a couple sitting at their dining room table in their new apartment in Wollongabba. They were a couple that had come from the Nile region of Sudan and were recently married and had found themselves living in a community in a city where they were really quite isolated. The image for me was an image that really documented the fragility, and it found them within a space that was quite different and quite empty. And for me, it has a really sort of haunting message or feeling to it. You could see as they were watching people view the image, this sense of recognition and acknowledgement for their journey and their place within their new community. This image was an image I entered into the Archibald Photography Prize the following year, and I won the award with that image. And I think it's testament not only for me to the work and the practice that I was doing, but to the stories of the people that need to be heard. For me, spaces and organisations like the Museum of Brisbane are really important because they acknowledge that history is a continuum, that it doesn't start and stop at a particular point in time. And I think this is also really reflected in people's individuals and communities' experiences. There's no one point where a story starts and a story stops. And I think that type of information, that type of sharing is how we can all learn from each other